As a note, maybe you will notice I had to shot the movie in 2 days, so there might be some differences in my look, hair, lighting. So don't be confused. I have other things to do, and yeah, I can't give my all attention to doing videos. It's a new thing for me. So I hope you enjoy this video, and without further ado, let's get to the topic. Let's try applying these 5 characteristics that I was talking in the beginning to these shows, and see how many of these criteria, how many out of 5 apply to each of these series. So I will not address every series, but let's start with Dragon Ball. So Dragon Ball, the main character is Son Goku. Number 1, he's a kid. Check. Is he an outcast socially? Well, at the beginning of the story, he lives in the mountains. It's not like he's been chased away, or like a social outcast, like undesired. But he lives alone, and that pretty much fits the criteria of being outside, an outcast, kind of like. So I'd say check. Criteria number 3. Is he a fail, weak, and has no talent? Well, no, that doesn't really fit the character, the Son Goku. Number 4. An extreme or quirky personality. Yes, absolutely. Son Goku is quite quirky and quite extreme. He's a bit dumb. He's loud. He doesn't shy away from a fight. He's so innocent and so to the point of being silly. Doesn't know the difference between girl and boy. Like, as a result of having been grown up alone in the mountains. And yeah, last point, he has outstanding willpower. So I'd say for Dragon Ball, 4 out of 5. Next, Monkey D. Luffy from One Piece. Point 1. He seems to be in his later teens, but more close to adulthood than being a kid. The rest is true for his crew, the Straw Hat crew. Most characters, like Zoro or Sanji, are in their 20s. Some characters close to 30 or above. So I would say, in that regards, no check. Point 2. Being a social outcast, I'd say yes. He and his crews, they are pirates, and even though they are rather a noble kind that plays the hero and often saves the city or kingdom from other bad pirates, they are nevertheless pirates, and pirates in One Piece are still perceived as a threat. When other characters hear they are pirates, they usually their first reaction is that they are a little bit on the fence. So yes, they are outcasts. Point 3. Is Luffy flawed? Aside from his intelligence and his cravings for meat, he is not flawed. He, at least not in regards to peers. It's not like his role demands him to be the underdog. So he is not without talent. He's not flawed, not an underdog. In that regards, no check. Point 4. Is he quirky, very verbal, opinionated? I'd say yes. He's blurting out his opinions, very verbal, standing in for his friends and his beliefs, and shouting out that he's going to be the king of the pirates, which ties into point 5, strong-willed. I say yes. Also a check. Luffy, very strong-willed, pretty much the personification of never giving up, never shying away from a fight, and with strong belief to be the next pirate king. And it's made clear throughout the manga and the show that it's not just a goal, it's something that he actually believes. He will be, he is going to be the next king of the pirates. And that belief is what drives him and his crew to support him. So, in that regards, to sum up, 3 out of 5 points. He is, even though not a kid, more a classic, more typical shonen protagonist. And it's no surprise why Luffy and One Piece is so popular. Aside from Luffy, I think all of his crewmates, his nakama, serve a nice archetype of support character, each with their own little flaws and strengths, so everyone has something or someone to identify with, to idealize with, or to just like. That overall is part, I think, of the year-long or decade-long success of One Piece. So, next on my list, Naruto from Naruto. Very interesting here. Criteria number 1. He's a kid. Check. An outcast? Absolutely. Check. He's a fail? Yeah, check. He fails to even perform the simplest techniques called jutsu in the story. He's the only one who fails, having no parents, also as a consequence of being an outcast, but check. Extreme quirky character, personality, absolutely check. He eats ramen, he's obnoxious, he's doing pranks to get attention. And last point, outstanding willpower, absolutely. Infamous talk no jutsu. Naruto's willpower is probably unmatched. So for Naruto, when it comes to these criteria, 5 out of 5. So, out of the big 3, last but not least, Bleach. Let's try to apply the characteristics. Is the protagonist a kid, teen? Yes, kinda, but more close to adolescence. Is the character an outcast? No. Weak or talentless? No. Not even very quirky. And does the main character have an outstanding willpower? Yeah, I would say yes, that fits. But concluding, for Bleach, only 1 out of 5 of these characteristics fit. So that based on that, it kind of confirms the gut feeling I have about Bleach being the black horse, the odd one out of the typical shonen ones, and I think that's something that many fans pick up, and that's why it still gets so much love and praise even today. It just stands out from the typical shonen. I think Bleach is really an amazing story, amazing character, amazing characters, so absolutely worth a read. Okay, to the newer shonen series. Um, Black Clover. Um, Again, just like Naruto, I would give it a 5 out of 5. The main character, Asta, he's clearly a kid, even often gets remarked on his small size. Uh, he's an outcast. Literally, he's a peasant. Lives in the peasant realm of the Clover Kingdom. He's a fail. He has no magic in a country, in a world where everyone has magic. He's super duper quirky, super duper extreme. He's loud and obnoxious, to the point of being almost annoying, especially in the anime. I feel they toned it down a bit, and of course he fits the outstanding willpower characteristic. It fits him. So Black Clover, 5 out of 5. Next, Boku no Hero, the main character, Deku. Released in 2014. Also, I would give it a 5 out of 5. The main character, Deku. He's a kid. He's not an outcast, like from his family background, but due to the fact that he is quirkless, without abilities, without any ability in a world where everyone has abilities, quirks. He's also ostracized at school. He's kind of bullied and looked down upon, and especially when he states his dream, wanting to become a hero. Heroes, people who use their quirks to capture the villains, the bad guys, to contribute to the society. So he's mocked for that. So yes, he fits these. Does he have an extreme and quirky character and personality? Not the same like other shonen characters. He's actually more of a quieter, reserved, and more analytic character. I actually like that about the story, but still he's kind of a nerd. Like in the story, he would always sit down with his notebook, note every other classmate and other hero's ability, and analyze and overanalyze. So he's kind of funny character. He stands out definitely. It's more so a story where everyone kind of stands out. I think the Boku no Hero, the My Hero Academia, over accentuates each and every character a little bit, which is maybe has something to do with it being tied to their quirks. But either way, it still fits the criteria. And last but not least, the willpower. It also fits him. So for the main character of Boku no Hero, My Hero Academia, 5 out of 5. All these points fit. Next, Kimetsu no Yaiba. The main character, Tanjiro. I forgot how old he is, but to me, maybe it's a matter of art style, but he looks to me like a kid. The whole style looks a bit childish. It's okay. It's a matter of preference. A bit more rounded faces, bigger eyes. Definitely attracts a younger audience. Something I can confirm for myself. I have lots of students, especially younger students, even preschool age, 6, 5, or even 4, or sometimes 3 years old, having Kimetsu no Yaiba merchandise, masks with the pattern mimicking Nezuko's character, her dress style, or Tanjiro's pattern, the green-black check. So super popular, but also super popular, especially with a younger audience. So when it comes to what demographic Kimetsu no Yaiba targets, it was super duper successful with the younger audience. So in that regard, already a big check mark. When it comes to the characteristics, is Tanjiro a kid? I say yes. Is he an outcast? Well, not socially, but he lived with his family, kind of secluded, kind of away in the mountains, in the forest. So in a kind of way, he's the family was a bit outcast, even if not socially. Is Tanjiro a fail, weak, or in any way deficient? No, that not. Is he a very extreme or quirky character? No. Does he have outstanding willpower? Definitely, I think that makes his character. So even for Kimetsu no Yaiba, 3 out of 5. And I think there are certain reasons further why Kimetsu no Yaiba was such an outstanding success, beyond and above what any of other of these series has accomplished, at least in such a condensed time. We can compare Kimetsu no Yaiba's commercial success as a series as a whole, maybe with One Piece. And actually Kimetsu no Yaiba overstepped One Piece at one point, but of course One Piece has its almost 2.5 decades of release history to back off the success, to build up the success, while Kimetsu no Yaiba pretty much came out and stormed to the top. I will put out another video explicitly talking only about Kimetsu no Yaiba, how did the success come to be, how to interpret this, what's the connection to current times, current events, Corona, lockdown, the state of anime and manga itself in general. I think there are many things that come together. The way media, entertainment through media is consumed today. There are many important aspects that I think go into this one, but there I have to sort my mind to put out at least a decent quality video. And to Jujutsu Kaisen and Chainsaw Man, I don't want to talk that much yet. Chainsaw Man also released 2018, already ended. I think it's a great show. I have not read the full manga yet. Actually, this is one of the cases where I wait for the anime to get in. I don't have that much time to start reading manga. Sometimes I wait for the anime to get released. Sometimes if a story is really captivating and gets my attention, then I go all in and I binge read the manga. So it's whatever comes first. And Jujutsu Kaisen still ongoing. I think it's very interesting to see where it's going. to apply these criteria to Jujutsu Kaisen, the main character Itadori, is he a kid, teen? Yes, no, he's a kid, but a bit more on the older teen, close to adolescence side. Also the art style, more pointy, more edgy faces, sharper lines, not so much rounded, more elongated, giving characters a lot more of a mature look, especially comparing it to Jujutsu, to Kimetsu no Yaiba. So I would say, first point, not so much. Second point is the main character in Outcast. No, he seems to be just a regular student at his school. He's part of an occult club, but he's in no way presented as an outcast, neither physically nor socially. Is he a fail, weak, or has specific flaws? Not really. He's portrayed as excelling at sports, and actually being rather popular. So no. Is he extreme? Does he have a really extreme, extroverted, quirky character? No. I think that's not the case either. Does he have an outstanding willpower? I think yes. That's the only point. The one of these characteristics for shonen that applies to the main character, and that actually reflects in the overall feel, the atmosphere in the manga. I think Jujutsu Kaisen has a lot more mature, adult feeling, not being so shonen-ish, but rather more adult. And this is where it becomes interesting. Applying these points, just to the which I just applied, looking at the protagonist, the main character of each story. It still kind of gives us I think a hint how typical shonen, how shonen-ish these stories are, or how they are maybe rather a seinen and young adult manga. How these might be rather categorized into manga and anime that target an audience that is a demographic that's a bit older. So and looking at manga and anime that get not released in Shonen Jump, that are clearly outright not marketed as shonen, we start to see more similarities with series that hit fewer of the characteristics rather than series that hit a lot of the characteristics. So